Hey guys, so my name is Simran. I'm a futures trader. I've been trading for about 2 years now, and I trade order flow. Um, Pretty much what this YouTube channel is about bringing women together who are either interested in trading or are looking for like a safe space to ask questions about trading. I've been trading for 2 years. I have passed multiple evaluations. I've been through the whole process of learning how to trade. I would say I'm profitable now. I'm about to take a withdrawal. Um, and I feel like thinking back now, right? There were so many questions that I had, but I feel like there's not enough women in the trading community to feel comfortable enough to ask anyone. Like it's mainly male dominated, and that's kind of why I've made this channel. Um, and I feel like looking back as well, there were so many questions that I had that were like I would go onto YouTube, I was trying like for example, this video is going to be all about risk management. But they would always be like the generic answer. They would never even get straight to the point or like they were never so specific. So that is kind of what my YouTube channel is going to be about. It's all going to be about, it's going to be mainly like knowledge. I'm barely going to be even editing these videos. I'm not really an editor. I'm not really into I'm not into marketing that much. Like I don't think I'll find it fun to do. Like I'll feel like a chore, but because the main part of what I do is trading, and that is what I find logical things a bit more interesting. Anyway, so it's going to be raw footage, and I'm going to give you guys so much knowledge. By the end of this video, I hope to have helped you guys learn 4 major ways on how to manage your risk. I think looking back, I also thought risk management was very simple. It's one of like the most basic things, right? But it's actually quite hard to master it. Okay, so let's get right into it. So the number one thing that okay, this is not actually in any order, but one thing that I realized when I was trading, do not increase your risk when you're in a winning streak. Now it doesn't really make much sense, right? Like it's like you're in a winning streak, why would you not? But actually the next trade that you take is likely to be a loss because trading is a probability game, which I always knew, but I didn't really think of it in the way that, oh, the next one will be a loss. So actually, that loss could actually undo all my progress that I've been making for the past month or so. And that leads to bad psychology if you like undo your progress. That's how things work. And if your psychology is bad, you might over trade, you might over risk. So yeah, that's number one. Number two is do not reduce your risk when you're in a drawdown because you, as a trader, need to trust your strategy enough to not have to reduce your risk when you're in a drawdown. Now, again, this doesn't make much sense, right? You're in drawdown. Why would you reduce? Why wouldn't you reduce your risk? Sorry, but actually, I believe personally what's worked for me is if you're in a drawdown, reducing your risk is gonna mean it's gonna take longer to get out of drawdown, right? And actually this damages your psychology. Instead, you should trust your strategy enough to not have to do this. The only time that you should reduce your risk is when you're in extreme drawdown, like I'm saying, like you're 2 or 3 trades away from like blowing an account. If you're like trading funded accounts, for example. Number three is follow your plan. Now, this is easier said than done. A lot of traders, I feel, well, the ones that are learning are not part of the 1%. They're learning right, so they don't journal, so they don't look back at trades um, the way that they should. So when they have like a loss, right, they end up saying to themselves, oh, I want to make back this loss. I want to be in the green for the day. But they don't think about where do they want to be in a year's time? Where do they want to be in 5 years' time? Where do they want to be in 10 years' time? Or where do they want to be next week, right? They don't think about these things. And they end up, well, I'm not saying this always happens, but they end up over trading in order to make that day a green day. And in some cases, this can backfire and they can end up blowing the account instead. So, things that you can do to avoid this is journal. So you can look back, you can be like, oh, this time last year I lost a trade, but then that was followed by 2 wins. So we'll be fine. I could trust my strategy. we can have like I have a vision board for myself. I basically look at this vision board always before I start trading the New York session, and I always think, oh, okay, like if I want to be here this time next year, I've got to follow my plan. The last one is to basically master your psychology, which I have now done. I can definitely say that. It took a long time. One thing that I did do to help was definitely to have like a win rate and a risk reward rate that would basically align with one another. If you're not a very patient person, having a 20% win rate would not make much sense, because it's like you're going to be thinking about the next time you have a win. Next time you have a win, and you're going to be constantly stressing, and it's just not going to be good because you're going to be forcing trades as well. So that's why I personally have like a 60 to 70% win rate. And I think if you prefer to have win after win to help with psychology, then maybe target 1-to-1s or 1-to-1.5s. I tend to target 1-to-1.5 minimum to 1-to-2. I don't really go beyond 1-to-2 because I prefer to just in and out, and I prefer my win rate to also be higher. That's what works for me, but obviously everyone is individual, so whatever works for you, you should follow that. So yeah, they're the 4 things. I just got straight to the point, and I hope these have been very valuable, and I hope you've actually learned something from this video. If there's anything that I missed out, drop me a comment, tell me how your own trading journeys are, and yeah, so I just wanted to basically tell you guys that actually in most cases where traders are like blowing accounts and things, actually it's not the it's not the trading strategy itself, it's actually the risk management, which again into psychology. So you do need to master the two like together. They're kind of like not the same thing, but they're very similar and they work hand in hand. So yeah. If there's any other content that you guys want to see specifically, drop me a comment and let me know. Thank you. Bye.